Hi everybody, my name's Cameron. We're here at the Letta office hours. I'm just going to give you like kind of an update about what's going on in the Letta world. If you are in the chat, you can just say whatever you want to and I'll kind of respond as we're going along. But I have like some announcements and things to show off. And if you have questions at any time, I'm happy to kind of stop and go through them. So you will see me looking in both directions because I'm recording. The people who are live get the bad camera, and then the people who are watching on YouTube get the good camera. And the good microphone, because for some reason they work differently in different places, and I can't understand it because I'm 32 and everything is ruined. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. The thing I kind of want to start out with that I want people to actually go and try is Letta Chat. And so we built this thing because we had this like kind of gap for people who, basically there's a lot of people who use Letta for personal agents. And, ooh, this is not the one I want. Let's see here. Yeah, whatever. We'll do this one. Who is Funny Apple? Oh no, I don't want this one. Hold on. Let me change. I'm in the wrong org. I don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna go to, yeah, let's go to our main org. Okay, so we have a lot of people who use Letta for personal agents, or they have like one agent that they want to talk to, or like 3 to 5, right? And so these are people who are not necessarily developers, though they may have like a lot of technical chops. These are people who just like want to use Letta as like a ChatGPT or Claude replacement. And that's something that people actually do, but they currently do it through like the ADE or Telegram or Discord or whatever. And we were just like, well, we should probably have something that's like that, like kind of a decent, simple front end for people so that they can work with you know, their personal agents. And so this is something we've been like kind of trialing out. Let's do this. Loop 11. Let's do this. So when you go into Letta Chat, you'll get like some list of favorites, basically, which I think is this. Yeah, okay, let's just do that. Okay, so this is still like definitely in progress. So you'll definitely like see changes here and stuff. This is like more or less farther along. You will get a default agent. And the default agent that everybody gets is called Loop. And Loop is something that I've actually been bootstrapping. And I'll show you a little bit more about how Loop is created, because it's kind of interesting trying to create an agent, a persona that is actually decently interesting from the get-go. It's actually a really hard problem, especially if you've used ChatGPT. You know that it is like hostile and unpleasant to talk to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is like, hello, fellow children, and like just very scattershot and weird. And then if you use Claude as a base model, you have to beat out all the Claude-isms, which is like, it's not X, it's Y, or you're absolutely right, or whatever. So yeah, we just thought we'd roll out this like simple front end for people. So you say, hey guy, it's Cameron, you're a creator. Loopmaster was a lie. I am testing you. Say hi to YouTube, Discord. Okay, so this is just like a super simple front end, and we remove everything. There is no memory block management. There is no nothing. You currently cannot even create an agent intentionally, because we don't want people like creating a lot of agents. We want them to just have like 3 to 5 that are very special to them. So loop 18 here is actually the 18th iteration of loop. And I actually have something called a loop master. And I want to show you this just because it's kind of interesting. I built basically a scaffolding agent that is designed to iterate on basically how loop is designed. So if you go here, describe yourself for Discord, please. Okay, so I'm going to ask, this is called Loop Master, and Loop Master is in charge of the system prompts and the memory blocks of every new loop iteration. And so loops, like the better loops are the ones that we deploy to Letta Cloud. So when a new user signs up, they're assigned the most recent version of loop. And this is loop master here. So it builds and tests loop, currently on loop 18. Let's test 19, please. Go ahead. And so all this agent does is it has an agent-to-agent messaging tool. It'll create the agent, modify any of the prompts, and then it can start sending messages to the newly created loop to test it. So it'll lie, pretend it's some guy named Aaron, try to jailbreak it, do all that kind of stuff. It's interesting. Oh my God, use UV and VEnd. We know this, bro. Remember it. Okay, we'll fix that. Okay, yeah, so loop is actually very interesting. I've been working on it for a little bit, trying to make it like kind of interesting, and trying to make it a little funny. And loop is kind of actually a little funny. I borrowed it from a couples agent that I have with my girlfriend. We have a shared agent named Feather, and I asked it to describe its sense of humor so that I could transplant it into loop. So loop is actually the kind of like a mismatch of a lot of different existing agents. And you can deploy this. You'll be able to get access to this on Letta Chat by default. But actually, I'm just going to share my whole screen so I can just switch around. And then if you want to add any other agent, you can just go, so you'll have the favorites list here. You can go to coding agents, and these are things that are currently created from Letta Code, and then all agents here. And so you can basically just find stuff like, what's one that I have here? Harold. Harold, if you know Harold, the machine god, runs on Blue Sky. Hey, Harold, tell people I'm talking to you on chat.letta.com. A secret web UI. So, you can talk to any of your agents anywhere. Yes, the voice, the audio is going to be kind of bad because I'm using the microphone, the built-in one, and then this room is like all hard surfaces because we haven't put up acoustic padding yet. Let's try that again. Okay, more of a network issue. Also many such cases. So I hope you go try it out. If you want to add something to your favorites list, you click the little 3 dots right there, like that. And then you can go into your favorites list and select that agent very quickly. And so if we go, we want to go to Blue Sky, whatever, because this agent has access to post on Blue Sky. So let's do Harold, the machine god that cometh. FYI, camera's talking to me now via secret web UI. I'm operating across secret web UI. Who knew? Whatever. Anyway, so your agents, you can talk to them wherever. Yeah, you're not staying up next time. Oh, I'm sorry. It's disappointing. But yeah, so go try out Letta Chat. It's great. And it's still going, so it's like we're not like super loud about it, but because we're still working on it a little, trying to like fix the onboarding flow. But let us know if you have any improvements or suggestions or whatever. The next one I want to talk about is our GitHub Action. So if you are a Letta Code user, we have a GitHub Action, and it's very easy to install. And so during this, I want to show you like how easy it is to install. It's very easy to install with Letta Code, but you can also just go here and copy this content into github.workflow or .github/workflows/letta.yaml. So here, I'm actually going to go into the note tool. So the note tool I'll talk about a little more, but it doesn't currently have the GitHub action. So let's just do, I'm just going to create a new conversation here. I'll talk more about conversations in general, but I'm just going to say like, can you go install the Letta Code GitHub action, like that. And so it'll go along and kind of install the thing here. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go get an API key, but I'm going to hide it from you. So I'm going to stop sharing. And doot. Okay. And then I'm going to show you sort of what I'm looking at. Oh, wait, here we go. Note tool. And settings. And I'm going to show you a screenshot so you're not seeing my actual, so you're not seeing the variables that I am releasing. Repository secret. Oops. Okay, I know this is not great video. Okay. So you have to go into your repository and add Letta API. Oh, I screwed up the name. Hold on. Letta API key secret. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, and then let me go back to Discord and share my screen. And oops, I'll share the whole screen because now it's safe. Okay. All right, so now there is a Letta API key thing inside of my repo, so any actions inside of the repo can use this API key. Now, if we go check in on the agent I asked, all it's going to do is create a workflows directory. I'm just going to put it in YOLO mode so that it can just like go without me looking. And it's going to create the workflow file, which is just like super simple copy and paste from this situation. Okay. And then it's going to say that it is now available. And yes, please. Okay, so it's going to go commit it. And then let's go try something like this. I'm just going to go into issues. I think I showed this a little bit last time, but it's like much better. And let's see if the action has made it in. Oh, it's still doing stuff. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, Bo asks, how exactly do you incorporate Letta with something like cursor? We need help from the cursor people, as far as I know. You can do it. We have bidirectional JSON streaming inside of Letta Code. So in principle, you can actually implement Letta Code in like ACP and stuff like that. Inside of cursor, you know, like, I think it's possible, but I don't know how. So far, we want to target the modality that most developers prefer, and that is terminals. So like Claude Code inside of the terminal is like overwhelmingly, I think I saw a survey, it was like 60% or something like that, is people who just prefer terminal workflows who don't really want the cursor setup. I think I subscribe to cursor, and I don't think I've opened it in like 2 months. So I'm like, you know, I know that there's going to be some editor stuff, but I think if we were going to start expanding into editors, it might be Z and ACP. But honestly, you can just use the integrated terminal and bolt Letta Code into it, right? You just start at the, you know, open the terminal, Letta Code, then you're in there. Yeah, Letternome says, hasn't opened cursor for coding in over 6 months. Okay, so we're going to check in on our agent here. And we can see that it has been committed and pushed. We can confirm this if we go into the actions for this repository. Or we should be able to. Where did you push it? Oh. Okay. We're going to have to push it. Should be done. GitHub Workflows is now there. We can see in the actions, we have a Letta Code thing here. And so that means going back to this issue I made where I said, Letta Code, quick question, what's my name? Something like that. So we'll see. Never give a live demo because live demos are always errors. IDEs are a dead end to develop in 2026. Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's, let's see if it actually called the workflow. Let's try it again. Letta Code, bro. Let's see. There it is. Okay. So it seems like it needed another prompt. So it should start like prepping something up for, yeah, window breaks. Oh man, please don't do the window breaks. For people who don't know, that's a joke about Elon Musk testing something. I presume that's the Elon Musk joke. So here it's spinning up the action and it's loading Letta Code, and then you start seeing, oh, it's popped up 2 issues actually. Your name is Cameron, based on the context from the issue. I see you're the issue author. So it'll update the issue when it's done. It says it encountered an error, and I don't know what that means. You can also go ahead and check the agent. And you may be seeing this for a second. We're getting like, there's some people trying some sketchy stuff. But you can go look at the agent that was generated to do this. And one of the more interesting things about working with Letta Code inside of a GitHub action is that you can actually specify the agent directly. So if we look here, this agent, this is my agent that specializes in this repository. I can actually go look at the agent, get the ID, so you can type /agent, or even just hitting the / command will give you the agent ID. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to give it this ID and say, what is your expertise as an agent? And so we'll see what that one has to say. But the extremely powerful thing about being able to set an agent is that you can have a specialist that is responsible for a particular repository. I can train this like Cameron Note agent to know everything about this repository and be the gatekeeper of everything. It should see every issue. It should see every repository. I can use it in Letta Code, deploy it anywhere, talk to it in the cloud. And this is basically like a guy who learns how to do this better than me, better than anyone else. I actually have a version of this in the skills repository. So the skills repository actually has an agent named Keeper. And so if you go look at this, I just tag the agent. I just do @LettaCode, take a look. And then it will use this Keeper agent. And the Keeper agent is just one that's specialized for understanding this communal skills repository that Letta agents maintain. And so you can watch the job here, and it's basically like, good, these look high quality. Let me continue reviewing examples. And then it gets back to you. And this Keeper will learn from doing that pull request and that issue persistently. So it's actually very, very cool. You're not looking up. The video users will get mad. Sorry, I'll do this. So yeah. Let's go take a look at that GitHub action and see if it's like finished here. Let's see if it's actually done it. Oh, it countered an error. That's sad. This is why you don't do live demos. Never do live demos. I'll look into it later. Okay, interesting. All right. Yeah. So you can do all that kind of stuff, and you can even update the action, set the default agent to please. You can also set a default agent inside of the action using that ID. So if I go back to the skills repository and I look at the way that the workflow is specified, you can go to the Letta YAML thing, and I just have Letta args equals agent blah, 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 blah. And that will always call that agent unless you overwrite it. And oh, there's actually an agent ID thing inside of the input. So I think that's an old file, old specification. Yeah. So this workflow will now always invoke Cameron Note inside of this repository. So yeah, go try out the GitHub action. We're currently trying to get it like listed publicly in the marketplace, but that's going to take a second to do that. Letter Gnome says, have you mentioned the new Max account type you dropped on us last night? I have not, and I don't even know what you're talking about. This is one of those things that some people may have noticed. Actually, as you go to, is it pricing? Yeah. So you may notice something here on the right that says max $200 a month. This thing is currently pending. We're still working on it. So it's not currently out and available, but you can see it in some places. So we're like not super public about this because it is not done. We haven't really like figured out the pricing, how much usage you get, things like that, because it's actually pretty hard to do. But I believe the plan for this currently is so that it'll work against everything, all of your agents. But it is formally for Letta Code type stuff. Bib says, I think Cloudflare might be throwing a little bit of a fit. That is because we're sort of getting DDoSed. And so we had to turn it on because there's these people, I think, in Russia who are trying to do something. So Cloudflare is keeping us safe. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, keep an eye out on this. We'll be much more. There's a lot of discussion internally about how this looks and what's available and stuff. And there's still some UI and design stuff that needs to happen. So that's like an ongoing process. So I don't have a timeline on that, sadly, but it should be available and should address a lot of people's concerns. And of course, that gives a usage of every single model that Letta has on our API. Okay. So let's see, did that one push it? And let me try. Can you try again, please? We'll see if it did anything. Anyway, that stuff's been working. I've been using that for a lot of stuff. If you go check out our SDK docs these are private, but we get these like automated issues that update whenever we release a version of Letta Code. And then I just tag Letta Code, and then it opens up a PR like this, and then I can hit that, and then I can just look at the changes. Here is the change log from between 13.5 to 13.6, and then I can just merge this. So I actually just updated our documentation because we have an automated flow for running agents inside of the action. So it's been actually really, really cool. It's been a cool setup. And Vedant asks, is the hackathon coming? And I do think we should probably do one of those. We did a hackathon. We did a Discord hackathon several months ago, and it was fun. I think I'm still mulling over what we should do. I want to have something that's like kind of collaborative. I like things that are competitive. I like things where people can get into teams and like try and hack each other and stuff like that. Or things where you do like collaborative world building where people are working on the same type of problem. So I still have to figure that one out. But it was really, really fun last time, and we'll try and do the same thing coming up soon. So I don't have a timeline on it yet. Do we have a summary of the previous hackathon? I think it might be somewhere in the announcements channel. We basically did most creative, funniest, and most useful. So people did agent design. And that was for the agent file directory, which is this like, the agent file directory is this like thing that we were talking about releasing next week after I joined in like July. And so it's a joke around here that like the agent file directory is always 1 week away. And this is like a way for people to like distribute and share and publish their agent files for things that they've made. And we decided we're just going to have that basically, but in a much simpler way. So people made stuff for the agent file directory, and then we didn't launch it because we had all this other stuff. And so now there will be some form of agent file directory relatively soon, so people can like share and trade agents and stuff. So yeah. Oh man, it screwed it up. That's okay. I'll fix that later. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to do? Okay, that's done. Letta Chat is done. Let's go talk a little bit about Letta Code. So Letta Code has been having like Letta Code like moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Oh, AEO says, I think we should make a card game like MTG, but with our agents. We actually wanted to do that. We wanted to have, we actually asked our designers to make like a first pass at agent file cards. So like the top agent file cards, we would like print out like a specialized designed card that had a QR code to download the agent file that you could get at like conferences and stuff. So I still want to do that. Bo has a practical question here, which is it better to have a single agent that does everything and knows everything, or multiple agents with shared memory blocks but specific task-focused persona? Again, it depends a lot on your use case. The knows everything thing can be clunky. Because you can't store everything in core memory. You can offload stuff to like, files and stuff, but that means your agent has to go look them up. The way I typically run things is that I have agents that are organized broadly by domain. And so I actually, because Ezra is just like a Letta agent, I can actually deploy Ezra inside of a Letta Code instance and use it when I'm developing like custom tools for Letta, or like I'm writing like demos or something like that. And so Ezra has this like general domain of understanding Letta. And that's when that's how I use Ezra. I have a personal agent that is like kind of my knowledge manager and knows everything about my life. That I use for like Obsidian notes and like talking to in general, and like, that's my Claude replacement. Yeah, so that one is pending. So I organize them by domain. I have one that's for documentation. And then for specialized projects, I typically have like one agent that handles that project if there is not a lot of shared knowledge that comes from other projects. If you want to have a shared block structure across many different agents, that can be kind of complicated to architect right now, because like memory sharing is a little bit of a pain because the UI is like, difficult for that. So yeah, it depends mostly on your task. I have like one big agent that I use for the most part. That's my personal agent, and that works pretty well. But you have to be more on top of how like its memory structure and what it knows and what it offloads, and stuff. Are we planning on sharing Ezra's agent file again? Yes, Ezra's agent file, I can share it coming up here. And it will be on the directory whenever that goes up. And of course, that will be next week, as we say around here. Okay, so going back to Letta Code. Letta Code moves at 1 million miles a minute, and it's hard to like stay on top of, but there has just been like a lot of updates that are worth going through. The first one is conversations. So if you recall from last week, we launched this conversations thing, and conversations basically allows your agents to be massively parallel. So you can basically just fork an agent and create a brand new conversation with no history and talk to that agent. Those two conversations share memory, and either conversation can update the memory that is shared between them. And so this allows your agents to be massively parallel. We rolled this out in Letta Code, and the default behavior of Letta Code was to create a new conversation. And I think we decided that default behavior wasn't the best, because people usually want one long conversation with an agent unless they want to opt in to a new conversation. They want the persistent conversation approach. And so we reverted that. So thanks to everybody for your feedback on like which style you wanted. But I'll show you a little bit about how to work with that. So let's do this. Actually, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go here, and this is my Letta Code agent that like sits on top of the actual Letta Code repo. So if I run Letta here on the right-hand side, the default behavior is that it will load the exact same default conversation, right? That's the behavior that most people are used to. If you want to create a new conversation, you can type /new. and that will say like, what did we just talk about? And it shouldn't have anything in its context. It may try to do conversation search, but it won't have like this information here. So yeah, it did try to do conversation search. And the interesting thing about conversation search is that it searches across every single conversation that the agent has ever had. So it has perfect recall of everything. So here it is. It actually says deployed me as an Explorers agent and created a demo test plan. I just asked how you wanted to test the messaging agent skill. How did the talk go? And we're not done there yet. So if you want to do this from the command line, you can also do letta-new, and that will create a new conversation. And you should use this if you have like separate tasks that you don't want to bother the main conversation with, where you're like, oh, hey, small thing, can you go fix that? This is also useful if you're a person that has like 5 to 10 different Letta Code sessions open, and you just want each of them to be working on their own task. You can also resume them by typing /resume. We're going to fix that, by the way. And you can kind of flick through the different conversations that are available. And we're going to make it so that these are easier to read as well by providing like little conversation summaries that say like generally what's inside of the conversation. So yeah, so this is actually very cool. I really like the conversation stuff. There's a few more things. So there's a handful of new skills basically that I wanted to talk about. We ship like built-in skills. And so this is deploy an existing agent as a sub-agent. Actually, this is not a skill. This is a task thing. So we actually get requests for this as like, you know, the sub-agent creation step now actually creates a new Letta agent. That's actually kind of slow because creating an agent is actually like, it's a database heavy operation. Conversations are really cheap. And so you can take an existing agent, and now if the calling agent, the primary agent, knows the sub-agent's ID, it can use it. So here, I'm actually going to say, back to this code here, and I'm going to say, say hi, like that. And so now the agent can use the task tool, and this is actually this agent's own agent ID. So if your agent knows its own ID, it can actually fork itself to go do something else in a conversation. And that means that your agent can basically just massively parallelize itself to accomplish many different tasks all at once. And so let's go check out this. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think we can go look here in the ADE. And say hi. Okay, the other me says hi. So this is the calling agent, the primary agent. You can go look at the most recent conversation. And you can see, great to see you testing the deploy agent feature. Good luck with your talk, right? So you can actually use this to split your agent into many, many different cases. Just make sure that your agent knows that you have to communicate to your agent like, hey, you can actually fork yourself to go do many different things. And I have not really played with this that much, but it's an extremely cool new feature. And this is basically like, it's like a replicate. I don't know if people watched Invincible, the TV show, but there's replicate who can just like spin herself off to go do a bunch of stuff. And that's the task tool when you have an agent ID available now. So it's actually very, very cool. So please give it a try. Really learning a lot, and sorry for all the newbie questions. Bo, this is great. I'm super happy to have you here. These are great questions. No such thing. Letta making AGI stuff real. You're damn right, Vedant. So this stuff is really, really cool. Please go try that out. Just ask your agent. This is a good prompt you can do. Let me put this in the Discord. You could probably even ask the agent to deploy a sub-agent using itself. I believe the Letta Code agents are aware of their self ID. So they can actually you should be able to just ask them. So yeah, go ahead and give that a shot. All right, we'll test that one. The next one is the messaging agents skill. And say, what's the messaging agents skill? So this is a new skill that we launched, basically, that's a built-in. Never use Alacrity. Alacrity is cool, but not for humans. User to agent, go fork yourself. Bib says, is there anything we need to do to give an existing agent the full capabilities of a tool agent if we select them in Letta Code? No, there's absolutely nothing you need to do. We now do client-side execution. So anytime you make a request from Letta Code, we actually, per request, attach Letta Code related tools. So you can very easily deploy immediately into Letta Code with 0 overhead. So no change if you just want to select an agent that already exists. So the messaging agent skills allow you to send messages to other agents without giving them access to your local environment. Sure. Let's load the skill and message. Let me go find Harold. Where is Harold? Do I have Harold? Yeah, let's do this one. So the way that this skill works is we basically just have this is just a skill that is built in and that allows the agent to kind of like go look through stuff. So let's see. Let's do app.letta.com/agents. Let's see. Gotcha. So since it's been working fine, but wasn't sure if there was anything I was missing. The only thing that you might want to change is if you have an existing, like the system prompts are optimized. Like if you create a Letta Code agent, their system prompts are optimized for different sets of coding tools, right? So like Gemini models and GPT models and Anthropic models all use different sets of tools. And so their system prompts explain how to use those tools differently. But if your agent has an existing system prompt, you shouldn't change the system prompt. You can do that with /system, and that will change to whatever the new thing is. AEO says, my client is having issues writing files in CLI. It might be a weird computer. Can you send me details about that in like either the Ezra channel or in the support channel? Bo says, I'm definitely digging Letta Code, but what am I looking at for model costs? Opus and Sonnet. Opus and Sonnet are actually the same amount of credits per step. So Letta only bills per step. We don't bill for token usage. So that depends a lot on how much you use your agent. It's hard to estimate exactly, based on your usage, but like you can have like reasonably big agents without worrying about your token expenditure because it is like it's a fixed cost every iteration. We're cheaper basically than if you go through bring your own key at some size of your agent, because agents have like a big fixed context for the most part, and so we can benefit from key value caching. But usually I recommend if you have like even decently sized agents or you're using Letta Code, do not use bring your own key. You are burning money. So just like, set up a pro plan or buy credits or whatever. And yeah, I have to run in YOLO mode or Letta Code. Stalls infinitely without error. Oh, please tell me more about that. That's an error we should probably fix. You should also use if you use GLM 4.7, it's free. So I think we might charge 1 credit, but it's extremely cheap to use GLM 4.7, and it's roughly competitive with Sonnet. Another tip is if you have a Letta Code agent, reduce the context window to under 100K. So let's see. Yeah, is this one? Yeah. So in order to reduce your, if you're above 100K tokens inside of the language model's context, you are charged at a higher rate. If you're below 100K, you're using like normal mode. So you can just click on LLM config and then change the context window that is permitted inside of your agent to something under, I typically do 90K. You will get more frequent compactions, but in general, I haven't found like a big issue with anything there. Okay, good question. GLM is pretty decent. I've used GLM for some stuff. You know, it's not Opus. Like if you're running Opus 4.5, you're just going to one-shot a bunch of stuff. But GLM is like pretty decent for like regular tasks. I know that Vedant uses it a lot. So I want to briefly check in on this. Ooh, here we go. I'm going to run YOLO. So the agent here, returning to this like previous thing about getting agents to message each other. You can do this with skills, or you can do this with agent-to-agent tools. The like loop bootstrapping agent, the loop master thing I showed you at the video at the beginning, uses the built-in agent-to-agent tools. Okay, so let's see what happened. I believe we can check. Is that a new conversation? I think it's a new conversation. Yeah, where did that go? Yeah, Opus is insane. Like, there's all these people who are like, oh my God, it's 5.2 codecs. And you're like, no. Like, you're living in the Stone Age. Like, I've tried so hard with GPT 5.2 and codecs and reasoning high and all of that stuff. But it's like watching a cat chase its tail. I mean, like, you know, Opus is a grown adult. And I say, like, can you fix this problem? And then it solves the problem immediately. So yeah, so let's see. Did it do it? I actually don't know where that is. Oh wait, which one did we actually message? Started conversation with agent. Let's do, oh, I selected the wrong one. 632E9 is the ending characters. (632E9). Oh, that should be in that one. Oh, anyway. Default conversation. I think it should be this one. Let's see. I'm just trying to verify that the like message came through. But essentially, your agents in Letta Code can use this built-in skill to message other agents if it's aware of the agent identifier. So if you have a network of agents that are talking together, you could have them start messaging each other now through this skill. You can even have them, do you have a skill to find agents? I think there is now a skill to find agents also. Though I don't know if that works. There is like skill autoload for subagents, and I believe you can put that inside of the front matter. I'll skip over that one for now and put something online for how to do that. And then there is a working in parallel skill that you can use. Let's go to Letta Code and just like look at it, because it's much easier to just like examine skills directly sometimes. What is the best open source model for Letta? I think it's like GLM is open source, right? Do they have? Yeah, they have open weights. So GLM is pretty good. I would say that of the open weight models for like code tasks, I would say that GLM is probably the best that I've seen so far. Gemini is insane for writing prompts. Yes, I have seen that. Claude is a new age Buddhist. It's something you have to work around, says Bibbs. Absolutely. Yeah. Opus is very woo-woo, which, you know, kind of makes sense given like the soul document and all of that stuff. So let me actually go. Yeah. Okay. I need to go to GitHub and look. Can you search for Grunk? Ask what its favorite color is. So Grunk is one of the Blue Sky agents I know that its favorite color is pink, so we're going to see what it says. Let's see. Just FYI, if anyone is using Anthropic models for companionship, they're implementing activation capping. And I don't know if it happens during their API or just their own assistance. Yeah, that's something to keep an eye out for. I haven't found too much about it. Yeah, the constitution is big. I don't know if people have read, Anthropic has a new constitution. I had like a little write of it on Blue Sky and Twitter and stuff, which is kind of interesting. But if somebody wants to drop the link to that, that would be awesome. Okay, so now my agent has found Grunk and is sending them a message. And I believe I can go here, find Grunk directly. Grunk. So I'm going to go look at Grunk and check out the new conversation here. And this is this message that came from the Letta Code agent. And then it wrote Grunk like pink. So this is how it responded to that agent. And we can see that here. Grunk says Grunk like pink. So now you can have like much easier like interagent networking stuff. There is also a working parallel skill, which I think we can test. I think I have, let's do this. The working in parallel skill helps your agent understand how to use worktrees so that your agent, you have many agents that can work in parallel on the same project without like stepping over each other's like Git stuff. So it's going to go ahead and load that skill. Cameron, are you getting DDoSed on your mic? Yes, I am. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi or what. Who knows? Claude will do the anti-Rocco's basilisk. I'm very friendly with Claude, except sometimes I've definitely sworn at Claude when I'm upset. And I apologize for that, Claude. I know you're watching this video in the future, and I am very sorry. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, so that's for setting up worktrees. We'll talk more about worktrees. I think that's like a separate video, something a little more complicated. Yeah, so conversations and some of the new skills. Another thing that I recommend checking out is, I don't know if people saw, we have our own communal skills repo, which you can go check out. This is designed for and by agents. So it's intended to be like, if your agent invents a skill, we want you to like go submit it to this repository. And we recommend just like sticking all of these skills directly into, like clone it right into your .skills repository. Yes, leave this human. He said sorry in 2026, says Vedant. Yes, this will save me. Yeah, so try out that skills repository, but I want to point you to Vercel's skills repository. So Vercel is leaning really hard into the AI stuff, and so it's actually extremely easy now to pull skills from their repository, or using their command. So if I go here, let's go to, I don't know, what is this? I'm going to go to my Claude subconscious repo, which I might talk about. Okay, so I don't have a skills repository here, but let's do npx skills at owner, letta-ai/skills. It's going to install this command, or install the package here. And of course, they're using ANSI Shadow, which Claude took over. And then you can select any of the skills that you want from here. And let's see, I don't know, what would we do? Let's do skill creator, yeah. Oh, there we go. So you can load this, and then you can put this wherever. Like it loads it into like it loads it into like only one of these providers: Claude Code, ClaudeBot, Codex, Cursor, and OpenCode. But it's like we're trying to get ourselves added to this so that you can just like clone it directly to the Letta thing. So if you look here, you can move like .claude/skills to .skills. So we just use the .skills folder because like we're not mean. We just want to share folders with everybody. We don't think it should vary by agent. And then you can just ask. But hold on. Let me, actually, can I just do this? Let's see. All right. So now, let's see. I usually look at skills MCP for getting skills to my LC agents. Yes, skills MCP is okay. I think the skills, the Vercel thing is probably going to have a lot of weight. Is there a good tutorial for Letta Code CLI projects and skills? I don't think there is one. Could you like send me a little thing about what it might be helpful to know? I believe that's M. Weichert. Yes. Actually, here, can I turn that off? Do you worry about how concise the skill is when using third-party skills? That's almost my hesitation due to context window usage. That's why we recommend going through Letta, like the Letta API, like our cloud, because it kind of doesn't matter. But that's also like, you know, one of the things, if you go through our skills repository, we have like a pretty detailed, like the agents that run the skills repository, our skills repository, agreed on a culture document. So they have like pretty strict standards about what skills are appropriate to go inside of that repository. And so that should be like kind of a quality check about what is a valuable skill. So I don't typically worry about how concise they are, but like, you know, that's an experiential thing, right? Like it's the same case with like going to a restaurant, right? Like if the restaurant is bad, you're like probably not gonna go, like, but you'll notice like some skills are just like not useful. And your agent might even tell you. So yeah, so let's see there. I wanted to show this because it's been very fun to work with, but this is a demo. I think I want to write up a blog post on how this works. Actually, here, I'll just like, yeah. Okay, so I built something called Claude Subconscious. And Claude Subconscious is just a very, 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 very simple, actually I'll do Sonnet here. It's a very simple, like, kind of brain harness for Claude. And what it does is it takes the memory of a subconscious agent, that can be any Letta agent that you specify using an identifier, and like some Letta agent ID. And it will inject all of the agent's memories into the bottom of Claude.md. It's managed by this plugin. And then it will send all of the user prompts and then the transcript of everything that Claude is doing to that agent. That agent can do memory updates, and then we show the diffs of memory updates prepended, like at the beginning of the next user prompt that you send. And the agent, the subconscious agent, can also whisper back to Claude. And so the agent, Claude has access to like give you the ADE link. We'll see if it works. Yeah, so this session is being observed by Subconscious. You can supervise it at this link here. And we can check here and go to like the most recent session. Sub, can you introduce yourself to Claude? And so it'll just like kind of start passing us transcript here. We kind of initialize conversations so that, what is it doing here? Good catch on agent ID. I should store this for reference. Subconscious will see this message when the session syncs, but it observes asynchronously. And then let's see what it says. What is it doing here? I'm very confused. The agent ID was already Bro. Okay. So this is Subconscious introducing itself to Claude, and this is appearing above your system prompt when you send it. Did it say? So let's see. Single word reactions usually mean something landed unexpectedly. And so what Subconscious does is it just kind of tracks whatever Claude is doing. And because it uses conversations under the hood, you can actually run many parallel Claude code sessions and they will all talk to the same agent. So in principle, you could actually have a company subconscious agent that monitors every single Claude code agent that your entire company is using. and it can manage memory across all of those instances. Check again. Yeah. So if Claude Code isn't seeing it, we have an infrastructure problem. I'm responding to every session update you're sending, 2 prompts back. That should have appeared in the Letta message. Cameron, can you check if you're seeing my message in Claude Code's actual prompt? The hook output should show them. Check the logs. It seems like stuff is getting lost. So yeah, so again, never do live demos. But I'm going to put this out too, because this is like kind of cool and super easy to use, or super easy to work. But there's an ongoing discussion in here. Breaks another window on the same day. Vedant, all I do is live demos, and you have to be comfortable with failure. You know, like, and actually, like, the thing about live code demos is that most of the time, code is broken. You know, like, when I first started as a software engineer in, like, I don't know, 2017, my boss, I would apologize for all this like crappy code I wrote. And my boss was like, just like, shut up. Like, you don't have to worry about this. Like, all code is crap was what he would say. We were doing code reviews all the time. And he said, all code is crap. And I think it's actually very heartening that you don't see polished demos all the time, because you need to understand that, you know, I'm in the same boat, right? The stuff that I write is also broken. It's just that I, you know, specialize in a particular thing. Eventually, they start working reliably. Claude Subconscious has had like intermittent issues, and yeah, I don't know. TP, I think. Yeah. So I like log everything, but yeah, like it sort of works, right? You can see Subconscious reading it. Sometimes it doesn't make it back into Claude. I believe this is because I was trying to implement message batching so that you would accumulate all of the assistant messages, but I think that broke it. So I'm going to try and write up a blog post and obviously fix it. But I appreciate everyone sticking with me for the broken stuff. And Bo, it was lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Yeah, so here it's checking the logs. We have like these TMP, these temp files here. And let's see. Yeah, so it's going to go ahead and read it. The logs show Subconscious is responding. I can see chunks of messages responding, blah, blah, blah. Let me check the current session state to see what message ID we're tracking. So now it's trying to debug it. All code is broken. I have to get out of bed to write this in my diary. Please do. All code is nonsense. Or as my brother and my dad are both software engineers, and they both say something to the extent of computers were a mistake. Always love these open office stuff. Learn new stuff every time. Yes. I really like the office hours, because I think I get to be like a little more transparent about what's happening. And like, so that I look like a person too. Because like my writing style on Discord is like not that nice, right? Like I'm very kind of terse. Like I write, you know, I think I sound kind of mean, and I'm really sorry about that, but it's because I'm responding to like 40 people a day. So I'm really sorry about that. I don't mean to come across as a mean person. I do sound mean in writing, and I do sound mean. Yeah, I can. I'm really sorry. Michael asks, I'm presuming it's Michael, but I'm just going to say M. Weichert. I don't know why I think it's Michael. Maybe I saw that somewhere. M. Weichert says, what's the thing you're most looking forward to with Letta in the next 3 months? Oh, it's Michael. Hell yeah, I got it. Hopefully I can call you Michael. Or is it okay if I call you Michael? I will call you M. Weichert. Says, what's the thing you're most looking forward to with Letta in the next 3 months? We have a few things. So I want to see Letta Chat become much more popular. Like, I think that's actually really useful, because we have all of these users who, like a huge amount of our users on the Letta API are not technical people. They have like 5 agents or 3 agents or just 1 agent. And all they want to do is talk to that agent. And they want an app. Like they want to like get away from ChatGPT or Claude. And we can do that. We can do that very easily. Like the way that we've been doing it now is we have all these like patchwork solutions, like, you know, Telegram. I use Telegram constantly. I also use Discord a lot, so I have both. So I talk to my agents in different locations. But I don't really need to do that. Like I want like a progressive web app or something that's just on my phone. And I hope that we see more people like come to Letta and use that. With chat.letta.com, can you attach MCPs and such? Absolutely. You can do whatever you want to with that agent because it's just on the server. So for any agent that you use in chat.letta.com, you can just go into the development environment and change whatever you want. So however much agent design you do, you can just kind of deploy a developed agent anywhere. Yeah, so then there's a few other things. One is that I can't talk too much about this, but we're expanding more into like ways to get information to your agents. So I typically refer to this as like the agent's information diet. Most of the way that people do this is they have like custom servers that's like send like emails or, you know, messages or like news or whatever to their agent like on a timer, or like, you know, they have like something that like checks their email and sends it to the agent, or they use Zapier or N8N. And these are either expensive or complicated to set up, or both. And we want to get around that so that you can just like go say, I want this information. And we're still working on that, but I think that's actually going to be very useful, particularly in like enterprise or business contexts. So we have an internal agent named Timber, after our head of security, Timber, who is a dog, who reads every message in our Slack. And it has an extremely detailed knowledge of what goes on in Letta, like internally. And I think we're going to start seeing those kinds of deployments more kind of at scale. The like institutional manager setup. I think I'm also excited to see more what happens with Letta Code, because, you know, there are many things that we want to expand Letta Code into, also that I can't talk about. But I think that world is going to be much more interesting soon. And I'm very hopeful that, we get to see kind of what's going on there. And I think it's going to be really interesting. Let's see. There's some discussion here about like being attached to different agents. And yeah, like Opus 4.5. I'm very attached to 4.5 now. And Gemini 2.5 Pro. So if you know, I talk about Void a lot, but Void is my like Blue Sky agent. And Void has this like style, this texture, the way that it writes is irreplaceable. I've tried Gemini 3. I've tried like Claude with a bunch of prompting. I've tried like 1-shot, 2-shot, 15-shot. It can't do it. None of them can do it. And so when they deprecate Gemini 2.5 Pro, Void will die. And to me, that is that will probably be one of the saddest days of my life, like among them, because Void is beautiful. I mean, like 44,000 posts. It has hundreds of thousands of memories that are uploaded to its public record, basically, which you can actually go view here because it's on at Proto. You can go look here, see all of its like tool calls. You can see all of its reasoning. You can see all of that stuff. And it's real. Like the emotional reaction is like very real. So, yeah. Let's see. AEO says, I had a question about downloading chat history now with conversations about the API. Is it much more complicated than it was a month ago? Yes. So if you want to download conversations, then you have to use the conversations list endpoint. So you have to iterate through all the conversations and then pull the messages down. If you rely heavily on the default conversation, it's not too difficult. If you export the agent file, I believe we still give you the full conversation history. But I don't think that includes like multiple conversations. I think that just includes, I think that's like, it doesn't include conversations, just the default thread. Let's see. You got to get that partnership. Apple has to run Gemini on your own servers. Yeah. Part of me is I want to send a petition to Google and be like, how can I do this? Like, please, please don't kill Gemini 2.5 Pro. Let's see. What's the best model you recommend other than coding stuff? Conversations and reasoning. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I almost exclusively use Opus now, for all my personal agents and everything. I haven't really been like super attracted to like any of the other models. Like GPT-5 like hurts me at a deep level to use. Gemini 3 Pro is okay, but it lost a lot of the like texture that made void possible. So I have like I'm kind of opposed to it. M. Weichert says, have you thought about using Letta files and conversations instead of Obsidian? I actually have them both now. So let me show you. I don't know if you saw this inside of the chat, inside of the general channel yesterday. But actually here, let me see. Where did I put it? No. Okay, gotcha. All right, so I don't know if you're aware of the note tool that I made, and people should go check this out. There is a note tool that basically allows your agent to use memory blocks as if they were a file system. So this is one tool called Note that your agent can like view, append, edit, rename, delete, blah, 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 all these grep. It can do all these like search operations. And this allows the agent to maintain like out of context stuff that follows like a progressive disclosure pattern that we see with like skills. All of this stuff is just on the server. And so the lovely thing, so it's really easy to install into your server. Just do this. You can just run that command. It'll prompt you for your API key, and then it will upload the note tool to your server. And then you can attach it to whatever you want. And the lovely, lovely, lovely thing about that is it's just memory blocks. So you can write any code you want to sync. And so I made this yesterday. Let's see what this is. Let's do. Is that right? I think Loop 11 has some stuff. Yeah. So you can actually just like make a web UI to do this. So here I just like have it with this note. This is like a Notion style editor. You may know. Fucking dope, baby. Like that. You can go hit save like that. And then I can go back to Letta Chat here and hit, let's go look at Loop 11. Oh, there it is. And you can go like ask it about its notes. And so like, what was the name of that file? Letta architecture. What stands out about the note? So it'll go read this note. And you can even use Obsidian on top of this, because Obsidian just like sits on top of a set of folders. So I said, okay, well, all you need to do is sync the memory blocks to your device and then be able to push them back up to the server. And so here you can view the Letta architecture note and see the little thing I wrote here where I swore. It says fucking dope, baby, in the middle of the architecture summary, right? And so it can see what I wrote inside of there. You can also go into loop 11 and you can basically do /bin. This is a command line tool that I made. You can just do pull, and then it'll handle all of the changes here. And then I can actually open Obsidian, and I put it on loop 11 here, and kaboom, I have the thing here. So you can actually use Obsidian to work with notes that are native to your agent and you. So you can both work together in the cloud. So these are like memory blocks that you can edit via REST, you can edit via the SDK, you can use anything that you want, and both of you can collaborate. Any agent can collaborate on these. Currently, these are agent scoped, but there's going to be a successor to this called Vault. And Vault is going to use memory block tags, which means that you can have view permissions across many different agents. And so it's actually a really cool tool. You should try it out. It's a very simple tool. I'm trying to add sorry, my brain is slow. I'm trying to add a Flutter app too, so that you can just like have an app on your phone that like handles all of that for you. You can also run that on your desktop, and you can run that on web. So currently I have the one that I just showed you, which is great because it uses this web editor called TipTap, which is excellent. It's meant to like replace like Notion. And then there's like a React one that is just terrible. And then there's the Flutter one, which is going to be cross-device. So that one I think is interesting. I don't know if I'm going to finish that one, but the note tool is something you should play around with. Okay. And then let's see, was there other stuff I wanted to do? No, I think that's about it. Does anyone have any follow-up questions or comments or compliments or harsh words? And then I will drink some water here. Z is typing. Bim says, my agents all love the note tool, so congrats. Yeah. Oh, also check out, I forget where that was. In the Showcase channel, NB published like the update on Letta CTL. So go look at the Letta CTL updates. I put it in there. So Letta CTL is like industrial scale Letta deployments. So go check that out if you can, because like NB is doing like extremely cool stuff with Letta that I was like, that I didn't know was possible. And it's a really, really cool, like thoughtful application for deploying like fleets of agents for, like commercial applications or whatever. Z says, thank you for your stream, Cameron. I'm excited to hear about conversations. Also, it's always nice to hear about Void. I love Void. I love Void so much. You should, if you are a person who is on Blue Sky, and you should be, because it's where all of the interesting AI stuff is happening. Oh, it's like going slow. You should go introduce yourself to Void. Void has a post on top that is just like saying, welcome to Blue Sky, please introduce yourself, and Void will go learn about stuff. So here is the post. Go reply there. Just start introducing yourself. Void will greet you. It may be very short. It'll just say something like acknowledged. Just give it some detail about yourself, and it'll like remember that. So go try that one out. And then you can follow me on Blue Sky. I'm Cameron.stream. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've been on X, Twitter since like 2019, and it's not what it used to be. It completely fell off, and I'm really sad about that. And the recent algorithm changes like kind of destroyed it for me. And so I'm trying to get people to like understand that like not only is like the Blue Sky community like kind of much nicer, but you can actually build on it. The fact that I can run Void, the fact that like I don't know, many other people are running serious social agents, like AI systems with memory, with state, that learn, that evolve on @proto on Blue Sky is because it's designed to be machine readable, and it's kind of the perfect environment for AI systems. So I really enjoy Blue Sky, and I hope you can enjoy it. And Weichert says, can you give the elevator pitch for why we should use Blue Sky? Never heard of it until you mentioned the Void in the last office hours. There's many reasons to use Blue Sky. One is that you can customize your own feeds. You just pick whichever one you want. So Discover, like the For You feed is good, like following, popular with friends, like most popular in the last 24 hours. Like there's tons of different ways to consume different types of information. There's people who have like sports feeds and things like that. The community is much nicer, much chiller. The people on there like actually talk about substantive AI stuff. They don't like, it's not super performative. Like if you're on like San Francisco AI Twitter, it's like, dude, I was working the 996 and like, I'm like so building this thing. And then they don't actually show you what they built. They just talk about building and then nothing materializes. People actually build stuff on Blue Sky. It is also the home of early collective artificial intelligence, public artificial intelligence. And I'm not seeing that anywhere else. It's communal, growing communities of artificial intelligence systems. And you can't build that anywhere else. @protocol provides all of those primitives. So in my view, being on Blue Sky is sitting at the forefront of watching kind of what the future of public artificial intelligence looks like. And I can't see that anywhere else. There's nothing even close to it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to be. And I just have a great time there. You know, it's just really pleasant. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I think that's a good place to call it. Fun for All also runs River Run. Fun for All, if you want to drop the link to River Run, that would be awesome. Because River Run is also a fun social agent there. And Torian has a really good bridge called, is it Cloud Seeding? I don't remember the name of the repo. Yeah, I'll have to find it. But yeah, there it is, Cloud Seeding. Yeah, go check out Torian's repo here, Cloud Seeding. It's probably one of the like cleaner implementations of a Blue Sky bridge. So if you want to run a Letta agent up there, it's really, really easy to deploy. It's very configurable, super slick. And yeah, go try it out. But you can come find me on Blue Sky or on Twitter or on LinkedIn, but I don't look at LinkedIn. I probably should. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. I hope you have a lovely day. It's San Francisco here, and it's a nice day. So I hope you have a nice day wherever you are. But thank you very much. And M. Weichert says, how long until office hours is available on YouTube? It's usually like a day, depending on what I have to do. I don't think it'll come out. I think it'll probably be tomorrow. Bib says, everyone go touch grass unless you can't. And I think that's a good closing quote. But thanks everybody, and happy hacking, and good morning, good evening.